What's up, guys? This is the Modern Do Chat podcast. We're your hosts, Cody and Chuck. Hold the line. We're going to the moon.
On this episode, we got the drink, we got the music. We got a little sad news with sitcom television. We're going to discuss crime documentaries and how they end. And of course, we're talking about the stocks and Robinhood. PSA, do not listen to us. We are not stock advisors. If you do, you're an idiot. With that, let's get it popping. Let's do it. Woo!
Whoa.
What is up, my dude?
What's up?
We are here.
Scared
We made
me.
it to February.
Dude, we're
in
here.
February.
What is this, 2?
February Groundhog Day.
Groundhog Day.
And I think he did see his shadow, so we got
Did he?
more winter.
I didn't even pay attention to that. No.
Yeah, and it feels great here.
Yeah.
It's like
yeah.
what, 60?
Yeah. It's like low. It's been like low 60s. It's been nice.
I'm not ready
50s
for the
to low
hot
60s.
yet. I would
I'm
like
not
to
either.
stay here for a little bit.
Dude.
I'll even take a little colder. I'm just not ready for hot.
This time in like early spring is perfect. That's like the best time of year.
It is. It is.
Best
Golf
time of year in
weather.
Texas, that is.
Golf weather.
Golf weather. That's right. Dude, what's going on? Anything else? How's
No,
your week
man.
going?
Busy week last week. We're about to dive into all of it.
Yeah.
Crazy week.
Crazy week, for sure.
Even after, which is nuts that we mentioned Robinhood snacks
Yeah. Yeah.
in the last episode
Absolutely.
about an article, and then all the stuff happened with Robinhood.
I think it was a day later or 2 days later
Yeah.
is when it went down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We record on Tuesday and mentioned Robinhood snacks,
Isn't that funny?
and we release it on Thursday, and
Yeah.
Thursday is when Robinhood broke the internet.
Yeah. Totally unrelated to what has happened, but when I posted to social media, since just the simple fact that we had mentioned Robinhood snacks in the previous episode,
Yeah.
and then all that blew up, and we released on Thursday, Friday, so I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna drop that Robinhood symbol in our social media because it was like trending, like,
Yeah.
ridiculously.
No, we are going to get into all of that.
Yeah.
But we got some other stuff to mention. But let's dive right in.
Dude, let's
what
do
you
it.
drinking?
So for this episode, I figured we better drink some bourbon. Get a little loose, fired up. So I brought a bourbon. This bottle is actually almost done, but I've been drinking on it a little bit.
A little bit.
But what I'm talking about, I couldn't help myself. I got this over the holidays, and then got COVID, couldn't drink it, so I had to wait it out because I wanted to be able to taste it. Well, I finally have my taste back a little bit, so I can taste bourbon. And yeah, I broke into it. So I wanted to feature this before I finish it off on the episode. So
I have not had this. So
this is out of Austin, Texas, obviously. It's called Still Austin, Still. This is the Musician, which is their straight bourbon whiskey. Just came out. This is like their new version of their bourbon whiskey. We may have featured this brand on the podcast at some point. I don't remember.
If we have, it would be in
It wasn't this one. It
would
was
be in the first year.
It was the Still Austin. I think it was like something grain. I can't remember. I'll have to look it up.
It probably was in year one because
It was.
we talked about it. I went through all of year two's features. And
Yeah.
that one did that today.
Our buddy Jeremy down in that area
Dude, I
mentioned
don't know-
this.
I don't
He
know-
mentioned this to us.
I don't know if we featured that one.
Maybe not. Maybe not.
I'm going to go back to year one and see.
But this is the new bourbon. This is
their.
their newest release, the newest bourbon that they released. Again, it's called Still Austin. The Musician. This is that version of the straight bourbon whiskey. 49.2% alcohol by volume. 98.4 proof. And Chuck, I'm gonna read this off the back of the bottle real quick. You ready?
Will you?
I will.
Can you?
Yeah, can I is the question. When a musician combines chords, rhythms, and harmonies, the result taps into something deep inside us. The straight bourbon is more than just Texas-grown corn, rye, and malted barley, distilled and aged in oak barrels. It's music in a bottle. When you try our straight bourbon, we recommend putting on a record you love. This is the best way to drink a new straight bourbon, by letting it sink down into the best parts of you.
Boy, that ties into the MDC
Nice.
brand perfectly.
Absolutely. Aged at least 2 years. So, again, Still Austin. This is the Musician straight bourbon whiskey.
I just like the way that description ended, because that is this
right?
show.
That is the show. I
That's
know.
great.
When I read that earlier, I was like, man, that's perfect. So, Chuck,
Yeah.
we're gonna have a little bit of this neat. I didn't even think about asking if you wanted a cube for this one. It's actually pretty smooth. I don't think you'll need it.
Very unthoughtful of you.
Typically, you would want that
Very selfish.
if it was like a higher proof.
Oh, you gave me a baby bitch pour.
Oh,
let's see
what you think.
Oh boy, that does not make me feel great. That makes me feel like Cody loves this. Chuck is not gonna be
No,
happy.
you're gonna like it. This is a really smooth, almost sweet whiskey. It's got a sweetness to it.
I wonder if I don't like stuff made with. I don't like corn. Maybe it's because this stuff's made with corn. Whoa!
All right, you ready?
Whoa! No.
Cheers.
I just lost some nose hairs.
Cheers to the newest revolution that's going on, because it's happening.
Hey, we're going to the moon.
yeah. There's a lot happening. All right, cheers, Chuck. Cheers to Still Austin. That's not bad. It goes down really good. You might have waited too long. Actually, the second sip is always better, right? You know this.
I don't know about that. Oh my gosh.
Should have got you an ice cube. Sorry, that was my bad.
Yikes.
Just trying to put a little hair on your chest, that's all.
I don't need any more, trust me.
Oh man, that's good. Take that second sip though.
I
At
don't
least
know-
do that.
Oh my god.
Because you know it's better
I
the
don't know
second
if
time.
I can. Like, my mouth is like salivating, like not like, oh well, yeah, I want more, but like the burn and stuff. My mouth has decided it wants to unload like a fire hydrant in my mouth. I just have a mouthful of.
It's a whole lot smoother second sip, I promise. Because that second one went down much easier.
Okay,
You can do it.
I'm gonna
Little tadpole, little sip. And I got some good tunes for you, Chuck.
Oh my God.
It'll. We'll move right on past this bourbon, and we'll lift your spirits with some music. How about that?
Oh please, yeah.
Oh,
You
man.
can keep that for yourself. My goodness.
All right. Well, cheers to Still Austin.
Yeah.
Chuck loves your bourbon whiskey.
Cheers. Fantastic.
The Musician. All right. Like you said, Chuck, this plays really well in this podcast. That's what we're all about. A little bit of bourbon, a little bit of music, music for the soul. I came across a song this week that I haven't listened to or heard in a while.
It's going to take a minute for me to recover. You knew that was going to happen, didn't you?
I didn't think it was going to happen like that, but yeah. It's been a minute since you've had bourbon, I guess, huh?
It has been.
Yeah.
But maybe my palate's off today because I took a shot of our tequila earlier and I was like, man, that's hitting funny today.
Oh, you know what? It might be the actual shot that you got. You think that's what it is?
No.
It's jacking with you?
No.
You should have said yes. That'd have been fun.
Tequila doesn't jack with nothing.
No, I mean the vaccine. That's what I meant. The vaccine.
Could be.
I meant the vaccine.
I don't know. I don't know if there's still repercussions from that or what.
That's totally what I meant.
No. I thought you.
Is that affecting your
Excuse me, I'm confusing my shots again.
Chuck's? Chuck's not the same Chuck. I don't know about that vaccine. I'm just kidding.
Well,
All right,
well,
so we
apparently
got
the new one is about the market is only 60% effective, so that's exciting. Said no one.
Oh my gosh. Is that? Yeah, I heard that. All right. This week we're featuring Bill. Oh gosh, no.
That's a very unique name.
Sorry, I went to the wrong slide.
Of course you did.
I was just waiting for you to rip me.
Surprised.
All right.
Much different when you're in the hot seat and the pressure's on.
I know,
isn't
right?
It?
Jeez. Bill Withers, "Use Me," is the song this week that we're featuring. Always a fun little classic favorite. And what's kind of funny is, with everything that's going on,
Oh yeah.
some of the average man might feel like he's getting used. So I was like, well, it kind of plays into this. So, "Use Me" by Bill Withers. So good. Check it out. That's it, Chuck.
Dude.
How do you feel?
I like the music.
Music's good.
Yeah, music is great. I'm sure the bourbon's good.
The bourbon's great too. Bourbon's great. Music's great.
Hey, take Cody's word on this one, not mine.
The bourbon's good. You guys got to check it out.
There will be a running theme in this episode, which is I'm not an expert on anything. So don't listen to a word I say.
I'm not an expert either, but I will say that bourbon is smooth drinking for sure. I don't know what's going on with Chuck, but it's smooth drinking.
Well, I got to break the moon down just a little bit.
I know.
We got to give a little love to a comedic powerhouse in the sitcom world, especially in our heyday in the 90s.
Yeah.
Saved by the Bell, Screech.
Yeah.
Yeah, Screech has I like that.
You like that
picture?
Yeah. That was Screech, man.
Dustin Diamond.
Yeah.
Has passed away, dude.
I know, crazy.
He's out. He's stage 4 lung cancer.
Yeah, and it moved quick.
Yeah,
apparently.
well, and that's what I mean.
Sad.
It's sad, and don't get me wrong. Like he had the porno. He had his own sex tape.
Yeah.
He had a tell-all book. But dude, I was reading and looking, and someone suggested that, I guess someone who knows him or something, that he had like a huge like lump on his neck.
Oh wow!
And one of the reasons he never got it checked out because he was like scared to death of being seen out in public and like paparazzi taking pictures of like him, and then
lump,
no telling what they would post or say
or question,
and then tack that on to being child star, where he was like the youngest cast on Saved by the Bell and apparently got jacked with a lot on that show.
Really, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that was in a tell-all, but he backtracked on a lot of that tell-all. Like he said a lot of it like wasn't true. But
really,
I've listened to the Zach to the Future podcast where they go over, and even Zach has hinted at, they maybe weren't the nicest to him.
Really?
When they were running the show.
Dang.
Curious to hear what he says on the new one. But
forgot about that podcast. That's a good one to listen to.
But yeah, Screech is Screech, and dude, a staple in my
he was a huge part of our young lives.
Screech and Urkel, like they were
totally
hand in hand.
Yeah.
The 90s nerds.
Yeah, you're right. I never even put those two together, but you're so right. Screech and Urkel.
But dude, I love Saved by the Bell, and Screech is. And now what's also sad is going back in videos YouTube is that when they tried, like I think Jimmy Fallon was a big trying to get Saved by the Bell reunion done.
Yeah.
And a lot of people said, "Hey, yeah, we'll do it, but we're not doing it with Dustin."
Oh, okay, really? Okay.
Well, because the tell-all book threw a bunch of shade at all the other cast members. They were all kind of bitter about it.
Yeah.
Then he took it back, and then I have heard recently before this happened, the guy that plays Zach Morris talking about fondly like nice of
Yeah,
him.
yeah.
Even I think Mario Lopez mentioned, hey, maybe. I think there was rumors that he was going to show up in like season 2 of the Saved by the Bell.
Really? Fuller
on
House?
Peacock, where they redid it or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't watched it,
Yeah.
but
Wait, I said Fuller House.
yeah, you
Totally
did.
unrelated. Wow.
Loser.
That's not what I meant.
But yeah, so Screech is out, man.
That's crazy. Screech is
bummer.
out.
Screech is.
That is a bummer, dude, because yeah, he made that show. He made most of it, Zach Morris, and that combination. I always love the Zach Morris and Screech combo.
Yeah.
You know, the pairing
Well, and
whenever
he
they're
said
together.
And that's what in Zach's podcast, whatever
Yeah.
his name is. He even mentioned, he was like, dude, when Screech had to do all that stuff, like he just like did it. Like there was no like stunt men or like
Yeah.
he just like stuffing himself in lockers and falling down all the time. Like he
Stuffed in lockers.
yeah, Screech.
Classic.
He was Screech, man. And that
huge part of our young lives. So yeah. It's kind of stings.
Well, and this kind of ties in. So just not to go in the rabbit hole here.
Yeah.
But I saw this tweet from somebody, and I can't remember who it was, but it blew my mind. And this is, now we're getting in old enough.
Yeah.
Where, like, athletes and celebrities and, like, people like Screech that we watched growing up.
Yeah.
Are going to the other side.
Yeah. Tiger, for instance, we just got done talking about. He's creeping up there, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, not creeping up. I mean, like.
You mean like passing away?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I saw this tweet, and tell me what you think about this.
He was pretty young, though. He was 44.
Yeah, he was.
That's
what I'm
pretty young.
saying, but we're getting in that
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's
territory
going to start happening.
of
Yeah.
people we, like, saw, watched. Like, we're not talking about, like, people from the 60s, 70s, and 80s.
Here's a good one. David Hasselhoff is still alive, right?
Yeah.
But Baywatch.
Yeah.
David Hasselhoff is pretty old right now, right? But we grew up with him. That was same era, 90s. Baywatch. But David Hasselhoff, I think he's getting up there in age. I remember seeing him recently, and I was like, dang, he's looking old,
I wish I had my phone on me just so I could pull up this tweet. I'm going to try to reference it the best I can.
Yeah, I'll try to pull it up.
And I don't think you'll be able to because I couldn't tell you where I saw it.
Okay.
But you can try when I tell you this.
Okay.
Because you were about to have your mind blown because I never thought of it this way.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to hear what you think. Someone tweeted this.
Okay.
If Back to the Future was made today.
Great show. Great movie.
He would be going back to the early 90s.
Oh, wow.
In the movie, it was the 1980s.
Yeah.
And Marty McFly went from the 1980s to the 1950s. If that movie was made today, he would be going back to the 1990s. Instead of singing whatever song he played at the table, we're like, what is that?
Yeah.
He'd be playing Nirvana.
Yeah, exactly.
He'd be playing,
wow.
I can't remember what the other song was at the dance.
Yeah.
Like, they went through everything that would have been different.
The 90s?
Yeah. If Back to the Future movie was made today and they went back 30 years, Marty McFly would be going back
basically, the thing we're looking at here is like 30 years.
Yeah. Because the original movie was 1980s.
Right.
He went back to the 1950s.
Yeah.
Now we're going back to...
If it was made today...
The 90s.
It would go back to like the 90s.
Yeah.
That's funny. That's an interesting way to look at it.
That's bonkers.
Yeah, that is bonkers. But the 90s, that would be a fun movie too, though, because the 90s were so fun.
It was, but
wouldn't it?
Think about it.
I wish somebody would make him. I know the 30-year mark is what you were talking about.
Well, I mean, that's what I'm talking about. Like with this, like he would be. Just time-wise, like.
Yeah.
Take a second, like. Watching that movie, it doesn't seem like.
Yeah.
It seemed like from the 80s to the 50s, it was like
drastically.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Like that's crazy. And now we're sitting here and it's like, he went back 30 years. He'd be going back to the 90s. It would be crazy. But at the time, you're like, wait a second, I was alive during the 90s.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
Yeah. But a lot changed back in 30 years back then. 30 years back then is way different than 30 years like from the 90s to now.
But just think about how you feel about that movie and watching it.
Because 90s was internet creation and on.
But I mean,
But
how drastic of a difference you thought that was.
Yeah.
And now imagine like your 12-year-old watching Back to the Future, and they go from 2021 to 1991.
Great year is what I'm thinking.
Sitting there like, oh shit!
There's a lot of fun stuff that happened in 1991. Yeah. That's
crazy.
That would be a great movie. Somebody should do that. That's a great movie.
This is reboot Back to the Future.
Yeah,
Let's do it.
They go back to the 90s. Else. That's awesome.
But yeah, anyway, R.I.P. Screech.
Well, yeah, I mean, crazy.
I'm gonna say the joke. It's probably crude and not appropriate, but
I'm
sure Jesse Spano is not excited about this one.
Oh my god!
So I did it.
That was clever. I like that.
No, I didn't feel good saying it, but I had to.
Yikes!
Let's talk about now. We both have watched.
What's next?
Murder on Middle Beach.
We have
HBO Max. Crime documentary.
Yeah.
And I don't want to dig into the weeds of specifically murder on Murder on Myrtle Beach.
Okay.
It's Murder on Middle Beach.
Middle Beach, yeah. I do want to say real quick, the only reason I watched this was a few reasons. One, I first heard about it on Facebook via either it was you or your wife or friends.
My sister-in-law.
Friends of y'all's. That's right.
The
that's
queen of MDC, Lindsay.
That's right. We had her. Yeah, we had her on. I saw it on Facebook. I was like, oh man, I like a good crime documentary, and the name was kind of catchy. It was like Murder on Middle Beach, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna go check that out. And then I saw there was only 4 episodes, easy watch, right? So yeah. I was like, done. I'm watching it. So I did. I watched it all the way through because of you guys.
Well, and my wife had gotten into it, and she'd already watched it, and we went over to Lindsay's and had dinner, let the kids play, and my wife was like, hey, hook Lindsay up with HBO Max and get her started on this. So I'm like, all right.
Wait, what happened? How did she get HBO Max?
I hooked her up.
Oh, what does that mean?
You know what it means. You know what it means.
That's
Everyone
funny.
knows what it means.
So easy to do that these days.
It is. So we ended up sitting and watching. The adults watched the first episode, the first hour, and I was like playing on my phone.
Wait, you said the adults?
Yeah. Well, I mean the kids were playing.
Oh, okay.
That's why we went over there.
Yeah. Okay. I thought you were about to say the adults watched the first episode, and then we let the kids watch the second episode.
No, so the adults were watching the first episode, and I was playing on my phone, half-ass paying attention.
Yeah.
And anyway, that's where she posted that. She got hooked. So then I was like, okay, well, I'll go back and rewatch it. I rewatched it.
Yeah.
I didn't know how many episodes it was, and I'm at the beginning of episode 4, and I just got hey, I wonder how many episodes is in this.
Yeah.
Noticed it was 4 episodes.
Easy watch.
Spoiler alert, maybe not spoiler alert. It's just in general crime shows.
Yeah.
As soon as I saw that, and I was like, holy crap, this is bananas. Like, this whole documentary is nuts.
Yeah.
There's no way they can wrap it up in the next 50 minutes.
Right.
And I text Lindsay and my wife and said, without spoiling it, is this one of those shows where, I said this, without spoiling it, am I about to get real pissed?
Yeah.
This show is bananas.
Is it a cold case show?
I think is what you said. Is this going to end where I don't know what happened and it's a cold case file? Like, am I about to be pissed?
Yeah.
And the response I got was, there is more information, but prepared to be disappointed.
Yeah.
And yeah.
And it's funny you said that because when I got to a certain point, are we just spilling the beans here? Sorry if you haven't watched it yet, but
yeah, I said spoiler alert.
Spoiler
alert.
I
mean, that's your cue. If you don't want to,
you don't want to know.
I mean, I don't want to go too far, but Cody's about to do some crazy shit. So.
Sorry, no. I'm not
I don't know what Cody's about to do.
I'm not gonna say.
So spoiler alert.
Well, what I was gonna say is I got to a certain point in the 4th episode, the last episode, and there was a certain amount of minutes left, and I was like, wait, there's like you just said, there's no way they're gonna figure this out in the next 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So I was like, this is a freaking cold case. Like, it ends, and so I just need to prepare myself to be pissed off at the end of this. And sure enough,
it happened.
It happened.
And then that just got me on where I was going. Is it That drives me like I'm going to start a
nuts.
petition. Everyone starts petitions these days. I'm going to start one that says you cannot make a crime documentary that ends with no answers unless it's a celebrity case.
Yeah.
Because you always want to know about celebrity cases.
Oh yeah.
But if it's just a crime documentary, you're not allowed to leave it open ended, and we don't know who done it. After burning almost 5 hours of my life. Yeah, there's going to be more episodes. There's going to be a follow up.
Season 2?
Well, with how it ended and what he found out, yeah.
You think so? Well, yeah, they yeah. I got.
But you should not be allowed. It should be illegal for you to release a crime documentary that is open-ended and doesn't close the case at the end.
That was brutal.
My wife watches all of them.
It was brutal.
She likes cold case files.
But wait, that happens
or
often?
Like unsolved. Yeah, there's series out there, and it's all about like they'll tell all about this murder at the end. Like to this day, we still do not know who did this. It's like gosh. I just watched an hour of you tell me what happened. I want to know how I got solved and who did it.
Right. Crazy. I guess that's the whole show of
and maybe I just know
mysteries.
more about it because my wife she watches all that. I'm like, I'll sit there and they'll hook me with the story. And I'm like,
yeah, of course.
Oh man, I'm gonna watch this. So I'll sit down and here we go. And at the end, they were like, I'm like, that's it. To this day, we still don't know that. If you have answers, please call. It's like, wait a second, I just watched this for an hour.
Yeah. Do you know one of my favorite shows that kind of plays into this? That I get hooked in all the time. 48 Hours. Have you ever watched 48 Hours? God, I love that show. And typically they figure out who did it, right?
Yeah.
But then the idea is to figure it out who did it. Your best chance is 48 hours within the 48 hours of the murder. But there are occasions where when you're watching that show, they end up getting a cold case and you're like, "Oh my gosh."
It's
like
so
you're like mind blown. You're like, I can't believe they didn't figure it out. But that happens more often than you think.
I can't believe they can't figure it out. I can't believe that they just made an episode that doesn't have an answer. Like, why do
it keeps you coming back?
Maybe self-awareness or hey, if you hear something or see something, but it's like
true. Yeah, it's to promote that case, to try to get information on it, but I get what you're saying. There might be people that watch this documentary and be like, man, I got some information on this documentary.
Maybe.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't know. I would be very stunned if from this documentary any more information came out in addition to what he already has.
But there was this thing that ended up growing. You know what I'm talking about? I want to spill the beans on it.
Yeah.
But like that could expose.
I don't know, man.
But the way it's pointing, it's like, you're not going to find out any more than you already know.
Just in general, like I hate that the crime documentaries are like, I hate the ones where they end because it's really well done. It's really good.
Yeah,
and then you realize about 30 minutes left that, this is not going to get figured out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So great story, but now I'm just sitting here like pissed off because I don't know how it ends.
Yeah. Yeah, I was pretty.
And there's so many more juicy details that need to get told, and it's like, on the other side, if there's not another part and there's no more information released about this, why did I watch this? If I'm never gonna figure it out, like the rest of my life, like
that's how
20 years from now, I'm just gonna be like out on the porch drinking, and all of a sudden I'll be like, I wonder whatever happened on Middle Beach. Like, how did that end? Like, now it's implanted in my brain when I'm going to think about it later.
Yeah.
That aggravates me.
You might look it up later, for sure.
That's aggravating.
It is aggravating, for sure. You know what else is aggravating? Our next topic.
Oh, yeah. Here we go.
Do you like that
segue? Buckle up. We're going to the moon, baby.
Oh, boy.
Let's talk.
Let's go.
We mentioned Robinhood snacks last week.
Yes.
And that's
ironically, that was crazy.
Yeah, and I don't even remember why we mentioned it.
Walmart, Amazon distribution for the vaccine.
Okay, because I remember talking to you about this before. Because back it up just a little bit, and I don't want to get too far in the weeds on the entertainment again.
Because we could talk about this for the next 3 hours.
We are not stock experts. No. We are not giving stock advice, but we are about to talk about it.
Yeah.
back up a little bit. Like 3 weeks ago, before all this started,
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
I had stumbled across an ad or whatever. I was watching something on YouTube, mentioned Robinhood, and everyone makes like a what's it, New Year's resolution.
Yep.
But you don't really say this is my New Year's resolution. Well, I kind of told myself, hey, if I get the opportunity or if I get time, I want to try to learn more about the stock market because
Yeah.
I know nothing.
Right.
Like 3 weeks ago, nothing.
Is there anything that influenced that though, or like kind of pushed you over the edge to do it?
No, not just hearing people talk about it and
People talking about like making money on the stock market or what?
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I know a lot of people that have money in the
Yeah.
stock market,
Yeah.
and not that they're like banking or nothing. Just
Right.
hey, they're aware and know what's
Yeah.
going on, and that's
Because I'm the same way.
that's something I know nothing about, and I know enough people that talk about it and
Yeah.
and have stocks. I was like, hey, I want to know what stocks are about. I
Right.
want to get involved.
I had
So
a friend.
threw-
I had a friend try to get me into it, and that was the thing. It was just like common, like we're just bullshitting talking. But hey, dude, you should check this out. It's really like easy type thing, and never got into it. But I always wanted to.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just felt like I wasn't.
Well, and
I wasn't like keen enough to like dive into it.
I looked a couple times before, and it was like you had to have a minimum of $2,500 deposited before it would let you trade, like Fidelity, Ameritrade, all that stuff.
Yeah, I was about to say those platforms.
And so Robinhood came across, did a little bit of research, and again, this is 3 weeks ago before all this happened.
And Robinhood is only, I think, about a year or so old when they like launched.
Okay.
So they're not.
Well, there's no minimum like deposit. That was the thing.
Right.
Was you could get.
But the app's only been around for like a year or so, maybe more than a year.
When I signed up, I put $20 in, and then I was like, $20. I can if I lose $20, I'll lose it. This will let me get in and like start buying and trading and just getting a feel for it all.
Yeah.
And in doing how I am, I get into something. I start Google searching. I start YouTubing and went in the rabbit hole. And I think Tuesday when we talked off this, I was like, dude, have you heard anything about this GameStop situation that's about to pop up?
That was the early stages of the conversation.
And I was saying I was in this Reddit, which I had come across Wall Street Bets and research and goofing off, trying to learn, and they were talking about GameStop. Now, it had already risen a little bit, but it hadn't popped when we were talking. Right. I think when I found it was that Monday, and it started climbing. I think Tuesday it really started going.
Well, yeah, you started seeing articles being posted.
That's you even said, I saw something about that.
Yes, I did see something about it. So articles were being posted already about it. Like it was generating some momentum. And then when the news like broke, that's when like Robinhood.
Well, that was like
this
Tuesday was bubbling, and I had stumbled across it.
Right.
Then the articles started coming.
Articles
I did
started
not
coming
get
out,
in on it. Just because I had just started, I was like, I only got $20 on my account. Like, what am I going to do with that?
Right.
Apparently, could do pretty good damage. And if
apparently
when we recorded, and by the time we released it, complete chaos.
Because of what Robinhood did overnight.
Right.
So, which happened on Friday, correct? Or was it Thursday?
Very minimum backstory on what happened, which most of you listening probably already know.
Yeah.
Simple recap. GameStop stock was down and going down. All the hedge funds, the billionaires, the 1%, bought the short or whatever, which essentially means if the stock goes down, they get paid.
Yeah. What
triggered this was that one of these hedge funds or whatever had wrote an article about how essentially saying GameStop's going down.
Yeah.
We're going to essentially talking about the GameStop stock.
And real quick, shorts allow you to like borrow versus actually buy.
Yeah.
So just so we're clear on that, in case anybody's wondering how that works, a short is you're not actually buying it, you're borrowing it.
Yeah.
Until it's ready to buy.
Right.
Or sell.
Essentially, if you have a stock for $20, I'm going to short it and say, hey, I'm going to borrow $10 or whatever.
Right.
And then when in simple terms,
Depends on where it lands.
if you get the short, you're saying
you get the difference.
You're going to profit off the stock going down.
And you get the difference from what you borrowed versus what it sold at.
Yeah, right.
Yep.
So the article came out, and all these Reddit traders, all the people like in their mom's basement, crunching their computers at
I hate it when
home.
people say that, though.
I know.
No, everybody's not in their basement.
Everyone's not.
Everybody's not in their mom's basement.
Most of them are.
Well,
but
I don't even think that. That might be where it started. But
it's like regular people at home goofing off on.
It's people that figured out what Robinhood was in the past year, however, whenever it launched.
Well, so it started. So then the article came out on Reddit, and all of a sudden, I guess by this point, a bunch of people in this Reddit group had figured out how to do stocks and all that stuff, and they were like, "Hold up. If we all decide to do this, we can fuck them hard."
Which means manipulate. That word's being thrown around a lot.
Right.
Yeah.
But they were like, let's dump everything in the GameStop, drive it up.
Yeah.
And so I still haven't figured out if this is facts or like hearsay or speculation. There's a time limit on when you have to buy those stocks back. When you short sell, there's a time limit on when you have to buy them back.
Okay.
So, like, say the deadline is Friday, you have until Friday to pay it back. So if it crashes,
because you borrowed it initially.
If it crashes on Friday, you're in good shape. Yeah. If it goes up by Friday, you have to pay additionally to cover your ass.
Right.
So they hammered GameStop. GameStop stock,
hedge funds. Yep.
Went through the roof.
Yeah.
And Wall Street broke. Robinhood broke. The internet broke.
The internet broke.
And it was
great.
Fabulous.
Somebody mentioned
so fantastic.
Somebody mentioned in their entire I listen to a lot of podcasts, and on one of them somebody had mentioned in all the years that I've been on the internet, this was the best past however many hours, 48 hours, that I've ever been on the internet.
Yes.
And I almost have to agree, like, this happened because of the internet. This quite possibly could be the best moment in the internet's history. Yeah. Because it finally, like,
it was Twitter users and Redditors.
Combination. Yeah. Mostly. And Robinhood, an app.
Because Robinhood was the most popular app where you could free trade, where it was made for regular people to get interested and start trading stocks. Yeah. Then those
democratized,
because before then there was like a whole system. You had to have a certain cash flow. You had to get in and start trading. Most people didn't have access to
their
stocks.
Their pitch is democratized, and also the name.
Yeah.
What does the name stand for? Everybody knows the movie, you know.
Yeah, Robinhood.
So that's what it stands
for.
For.
From the rich, give to the poor.
Yeah, absolutely. So it stands for those things.
They were the first one that made it accessible to everyday people.
Right.
Everyday people could start getting in on stocks.
Yeah, which is great.
And what happened was those everyday people got in, did their research,
and got smart,
and figured out how to play the game.
Yes.
And played it better than the 1%ers, the hedge funds and all them.
Yeah.
And when they did so, it flipped the entire market on its head and complete panic.
Forever changed it.
Panic.
Yeah.
Robinhood took GameStop and additional stocks off their platform.
Could no longer buy them. You could sell them, but couldn't buy them.
Right. Yeah. Which basically they're saying what, the theory is.
Well,
they did that because the hedge fund needed to cover. They needed the price go down. Yep. So if your only option is to sell, they're thinking most people will choose to sell.
Yep.
And then as soon as you sell, the price goes down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. So everybody's thinking, Vlad, I forget his last name, but he's the CEO of Robinhood. But everybody's saying, like, he was told to do this, or he's a puppet. He was convinced to do this because there's other parties that are involved. For instance, Citadel. I think everybody's been hearing about Citadel, on all the news media platforms and
Melvin,
internet.
I think Melvin.
And Melvin.
Yeah.
Well, Citadel, I think, acquired Melvin,
Okay.
I believe. So, but Citadel, I learned something interesting, and I've been doing quite a bit of research on this before we came on here to try to sound like we know what we're talking about. Again, we're not experts at all.
I was about to say, this is not stock advice.
Good gosh, don't listen.
I was going to say that.
Do not listen to me talking.
You are a straight idiot if you listen to anything we say.
But I will also say, like, it's not that hard to comprehend and understand if you really dive in. So that's where I love, like, an app like Robinhood. It gave you access to something that you thought was untouchable.
Yep.
And you eventually find out that, like, this is not untouchable at all. In fact, like, I could probably go deeper and learn so much more.
Yeah. I started
so much more.
When I was decided before all this that I want to get into it, I started YouTubing and looking.
Yeah.
And most of the YouTubers I came across are like, yeah, I taught myself to do this. It takes time.
Yeah. It takes years.
It takes years to learn, but it can be done.
I heard average 10 years. If you're really in it for 10 years, you're probably sitting pretty good 10 years beyond if you're still in the stock market and playing around.
And that's what I'm going to do. I want to get in and learn, and I'm a hands-on visual person.
Yeah.
So I was never going to learn just reading articles. I had to put my money in and figure it out.
Right.
Which I'm still in the process of. But also they say this is the worst time to try to figure it out because it is so insane.
True. Yeah. It's hot right now. But I kind of want to give a timeline real quick. So in my notes, I've got, like, Wall Street Bets is a platform on Reddit. It's a Reddit page or a blog page, so to speak.
It's a Reddit group.
And when all of this started to start taking flight, they had about 2.7 million followers already in that group, and now I think it's risen to upwards of like 5 million. Since then.
I'm in the group, and I was in the group like right before this busted open, before I even knew what was going on.
Yeah.
And once it popped off, the group kind of like got disabled and shut down.
Yeah.
And then there was notices all of a sudden that, hey, this is being monitored, so watch what you put on here.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So all eyes on Reddit.
Yeah. Well, back to Citadel. So Citadel, the reason that everybody thinks that Vlad, the CEO of Robinhood, and the reason they decided to, and let's be clear, Robinhood wasn't the only platform to shut that down.
They were the first one.
And everybody else followed suit.
Mostly because it was like a grassroots kind of thing, like the everyday trader, like the regular people, most of them traded on Robinhood. So a lot of those GameStop buys that were driving the price up came from Robinhood.
Yep.
So
who sees every order? You know who sees every order that comes through Robinhood? Citadel. Citadel is the largest customer of Robinhood. In fact, what they do is they buy their data.
Yep.
So Robinhood sells their order flow to Citadel. So that's why everybody's thinking. That's why Portnoy is like saying this is criminal, going to jail. Like somebody is pulling strings. He's a puppet. Because Citadel is involved, and they purchase order flow data from Robinhood. Mm-hmm. It doesn't even matter what you're doing. Apparently, they don't care if you even buy or sell on Robinhood. They just get anything that happens on Robinhood. They get that data, and they get a percentage of it. I believe. I forget which percentage it was, but anyways, that's why people think Citadel, honestly, is making or making this happen in the background.
Well, and in coordination with the other hedge funds, because they lost billions of dollars.
They did, yeah.
And that's why you see I think that's part of why GameStop's crashing now, because they already had to bite the bullet on GameStop. Yeah. They lost on GameStop.
Yeah.
So
on GameStop.
On GameStop.
But everything else, hedge funds are not losing. They're actually making money.
They are, but
when the stock goes down, they're making money because that's what they want.
Well,
they want it to tank, right?
Well, but like I said, we talk about those deadlines that may or not be artificial.
Yeah.
The supposed deadline on GameStop was last Friday.
Right.
So that's why everyone was like, wait for it, end of the week.
Hold the line.
Thursday and Friday,
Yeah.
it's going to start getting crazy.
Right.
And it did.
Yeah. Well, that's
why it looks like, that's why I think it's tanking now. Yeah. I think. I don't know.
Well, and that's why
understanding.
That's why Robinhood shut down buys, because the thought is Citadel was pulling the strings. He was the puppet. They said, "Hey, you better do this because we are your number one customer."
Yeah.
And where was I going with that?
Well, if the deadline was Friday, Robinhood killed it.
Yeah, that's why Robinhood shut everything down. Yeah,
to try to drive the price down before this deadline.
So the hedge funds could get rid of their shorts also.
Right.
That's why.
Right. And there was even rumors that it came. I mean, there was multiple hedge fund involvement, possible government interference,
like how,
and that's opening a whole nother can of worms. With now the government's pissed and wants to know what's going on.
Right. You have
AOC, SEC's getting involved.
You have AOC and Ted Cruz agreeing on a subject.
That's crazy.
On subject matter that's nuts. Well, and Elon, you have Portnoy, Elon and Chamath, Cuban, all like huge tech guys chiming in. And when that happens, like they keep saying, like the internet's gonna win eventually. It might not be like all the Robinhood users getting their payout like they should. Really what's happening is they shook the system. They shocked the system and changed it forever.
Yeah, like it's not going back.
It will not go back. Yeah, there will be regulations or something.
What everyone's pissed about is, I say we, the regular people, figured out how to play the game. Right. And when we did, the hedge funds and the 1%, the billionaires, decided, well, now we're going to change the rules.
Important to put it the best way. It's like you're in the fourth quarter of a game. I know you heard this. And the losing team, they're on like fourth down or something. It doesn't matter. They're losing, and it's like adding 20 more minutes to the clock and saying, here, we'll give you another chance. Changing the rules in the middle of the game.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's
because they didn't like what they saw.
If you're the one benefiting, but as soon as the other person does, there's a problem. Let's change the rules. Yeah. But that's now you're seeing all those stocks dive, and then again, not stock advice, just saying.
Yeah.
I dumped more money into Robinhood last week, and in play because you saw a lot of other stocks, Nokia, Naked, AMC was the other one, and what it basically has boiled down to, it seems like, based on what I've read and
Bed Bath
watched,
and Beyond was one. Yeah.
AMC is the most likely to follow a similar course as GameStop.
Yes.
And that's why, and again, we're recording Tuesday night. This will release Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
I am pumped to see what Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. By the time this releases,
is Friday deadline for AMC?
Well, I've heard. So here's a couple things on that. I've heard it's Wednesday.
Okay.
And I've heard it's Friday.
Okay.
And these may or may not be real. I've heard some people say, "Hey, these deadlines don't exist for shorts."
Okay.
But most people are going off that.
Yeah. I wonder what determines a deadline. We'll have to look that up.
That's what they're saying, but not advice. That's why the suggestion is to gather up AMC, hold it, and wait until the end of the week and see what it does.
Right.
So I did that. Just the money I put in, I'm willing to lose for the potential of what could possibly happen.
Right.
So I'm on it every day now. AMC's has been the one to watch so far this week. I think GameStop's over. Like, I don't think it's going back to what it was. No, you're still going to make if you got in early, you're still making a damn good profit now.
It peaked at 513, which is the highest ever.
But when this started, it was like at what, 15, 20 bucks.
Yeah.
And it's still around 100.
Peaked at 5. Yeah, it closed at 90 today, but it peaked at 513, which was the largest ever in Wall Street history, by the way. Craziness. So
when I never got in GameStop, because by the time I caught on and figured out what I was doing and what was happening, I felt like the price, and the price was, I think when I started looking at it, it was right around 300. So
Okay.
it was like when the light bulb went off, I was like, "Oh, this is what they're talking about."
Yeah.
It was around 300, and I thought, well, and you could still buy fractional shares at the time.
Right.
Can't now.
Right.
And I was like, I don't know, still seems a little steep. Like, I don't know how much higher it could go. So I never got in GameStop.
Yeah.
But I went to like the next best one, whatever it was AMC. So I got in low, and now it's Tuesday night.
What did you get in on AMC, if you don't mind sharing?
My average cost, I've dipped in multiple times now.
Okay.
But my average cost is $12 a share.
Okay, that's not bad.
Last I looked, it was around $7.50. So
okay.
and that's because I think Monday morning it peaked this week, anyways.
Yeah.
Around
10, right?
No, it was up at
10
like
was today.
$16, $17.
Okay.
And then all of a sudden it crashed down to $7.
Okay.
And what's weird about it is it crashed after hours.
Mm.
It was crashing. It was coming down during trading hours, but like overnight, it went down like 40%.
Interesting. Do you think the GameStop had an effect on the AMC crashing overnight?
Well,
because GameStop was a loss for most, I would imagine.
What I'm
right?
referring to as like the Reddit stocks.
Okay.
That's your GameStop, AMC,
Nokia, yeah.
all those.
Yeah.
Every single one of them took a nosedive on Monday.
Right.
But like for AMC example, they're showing the videos. They're showing this is exactly what happened with GameStop.
GameStop, yeah.
And it's also exactly what happened. Apparently, Volkswagen was in this similar up-down situation like a few years ago, and it crashed, and then all of a sudden it spiked hard.
Interesting.
Up.
Okay.
But they're saying like, and that's what I'm looking forward to. By the time this comes out, probably more clarity. They're saying it's going to be bad because they're doing everything they can to cover their ass.
Yeah.
And there's like the way, I don't know all the details, but what they're saying is like, I don't even know how to read the charts. What they're saying is you can see a pattern. Like when it's a massive sell-off, the price drops and the volume does something. I can't tell you what.
Okay.
In this instance, the price is dropping, but the volume is through the roof.
Right.
Which what they're saying that
which
looks
means
like is
they can't cover that as what
the hedge
what's
funds
happening.
To drive the price down. The hedge funds are trading each other at very low number of shares, like price, to make it artificially look like there's a massive sell-off when there's not.
Which would make the consumer, would make the average guy customer on Robinhood sell because it's tanking ridiculously.
Right. Everyone's saying, "Oh man, it's tanking. Now I'm losing money. Sell." And that's what.
And that's why everybody's promoting hold the line. They're effing with you.
Yes, because they're saying hold it to Wednesday, hold it to Friday, then sell it. If it doesn't do what we think it's going to do, sell it then.
Yeah.
Don't sell right now because it's artificial.
Gotcha.
It's an artificial decline.
Gotcha.
And another little wrinkle to this.
That's also manipulation, though.
Correct. But they've never been checked on it before.
Exactly.
And now they are.
And I have a note here which plays into this perfectly. This is the first time that the average guy, primarily on Robinhood, because that's the platform that most of the average guy is on. This is the first time ever in Wall Street history that the average guy has gone one up on Wall Street.
Yeah.
And it's somewhat inspiring because, like we always hear, the internet always wins. The internet's going to win no matter what, because you still have those guys out there in suits, is what they're calling them, the suit guys, still kind of running the old classic, this is how we run our Wall Street business, and it's changing right before their eyes, and they don't like it. So they change the rules.
Adapt to it.
And they can't, exactly.
And
not quick enough. They will, but it's happening too quick for them.
That's a running theme, I think, in just corporate business anyway, is the people who have been around for a long time having a hard time adapting to the new work from home.
Hard to swallow
flex
pills.
schedules, like stuff like that.
Yeah.
But also this is we talked about like a lot of the bad of internet and instant communication.
Yeah.
This is one of those instances where
You're true. That's right.
they're flipping the power. Like I say,
Yeah.
we're the regular people are like, hold on, we can mass communicate on this just like they do.
Yeah.
And we get enough people, we can manipulate it how we want it to be.
Right. Because we know they manipulate the
Yeah.
system every single day.
And this, I think, more than anything, what's awesome about this, and that's why a lot of people are just like, hold it,
Yeah.
because it's gotten so far and so big that people are willing to take a loss,
Yeah.
just because it opens the can of worms and sticks it to them,
Yeah.
sticks it to the hedge funds and
Yeah.
the billionaires. Hey, this is a problem. Now y'all want to do something about.
Yeah.
Let's get transparent and let's see what's going on.
Right. No, it's
So-
going to change Wall Street I think for the better, or at least it will. Now there's a lot of what I keep hearing too is like transparency. Now there's like a ton of transparency. It's like wide open. Everybody's kind of figured it out, or if they haven't, they're on track.
Well,
they're on track
it's
to
still
really
fishy,
figuring it out.
Which I did hear one explanation for Robinhood, and it may have been that same guy explain it, and it did kind of make sense on why they had to do what they did.
Yeah, it does.
But
It does.
it doesn't change the fact that
Liquidity is what Vlad claimed.
Yeah. It doesn't change
There's
the fact that the whole idea of stocks is that they should only be closed and limited by the SEC, and the fact that independent companies, apps, and stuff decided they're going to take it in their own hands and close it,
Right.
or stop it, or limit buys and sells,
Yeah.
is a problem, because
Right.
when they do that, it obviously, you can tell it changed the market.
Right.
As soon as majority of the people buying GameStop on Robinhood couldn't anymore, the price started dropping, free fall.
Well, that's what they wanted. So that
And now there's limited.
The
Like,
claim
you can
is
only
that-
buy certain shares. You can't buy fractions. You have to buy full shares, and you can only buy so many.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this is the other little wrinkle to it. While they're saying wait to the end of the week, because Robinhood did that, a bunch of people said, "F that.
Yeah.
I'm taking my money. I'm moving it to a different trading app or a different company, and then I'll start trading."
Yeah.
Apparently, there's a waiting time in that transfer, and a lot of people that abandoned Robinhood last week are just now. I say just now. This is Tuesday night. They're saying Wednesday is when a lot of people are going to get the ability to go back to trading after transferring to a new broker or a new app. So there's a gap.
Crypto was the crypto also involved in that? Could you transfer?
Just in
could
general,
you transfer
like
to
if you were
crypto?
on Robinhood and you pulled all your funds and moved it to Webull or whatever, they're
Right.
saying there's a period of time that it takes. It's not instant.
Okay.
And they're saying Wednesday, like there may have been like a 5 to 7 day waiting period. Well, that time is up now. So all the people dying and waiting to trade GameStop, AMC have been put on a freeze because their funds have been held up. They're going to get released on Wednesday, and then it's Wednesday, Thursday, going to be a free-for-all.
Here we go again. Yeah.
So that's what they're saying. And again, this is releasing on Thursday. This will all have already taken place.
Yeah.
Possibly a good picture. And this is not advice. Again, please don't listen to it as far as stock and what you should do.
Yeah.
But I'm excited for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. I'm in it. The money I put in is not enough that I'm going to miss it if it's gone. I just wanted to be... I couldn't get on GameStop, and it seems like AMC's the next one. I wanted to get in for the roller coaster ride, and it is so much fun.
Yeah.
It hasn't been fun the last day or so.
Yeah.
But the possibilities are fun. I just like being involved in it. And
I think
it's interesting.
I think the thing that resonates with the Robinhood app is it's so, and we talked about this before the show, it's so user friendly.
Oh, dude,
and
it's
easy, and it's almost like somebody's made the comparison, and it's true. Like I heard this today on another podcast again. During the pandemic, sports there wasn't a whole lot of sports happening.
Yeah,
and so gambling was down. So that's why people are claiming that Robinhood had the rise that they did over the past year because gambling was down, and Robinhood their app and just like the overall like feel of the platform almost feels like gambling, but it's stocks.
Yeah.
So a lot of the like gambler crowd
Me.
that was not in gambling because gambling was not available, because sports was not available, they got into Robinhood because it's almost like gambling.
Well, that
and this app is so like user friendly.
Well, combine that mindset with the lockdown and quarantine.
Yes.
You have nothing else to do but sit around and figure out how stocks work.
And figure out how to try to make money because you're not making money.
Oh,
some people are not making money.
I have time now. Let me figure out how stocks work.
Exactly. And I told you this last week, I think. I was like, dude, I'm shooting myself in the foot. Or I think I told you when this all happened.
Yeah.
I'm shooting myself in the foot. I told somebody this. I don't know if it was you or
You did mention it to me. You might have told someone else. I was like,
dude, I'm shooting myself in the foot because I had almost an entire year off from actual like work. I'm still working behind the scenes on other stuff, but I wasn't physically going into a place and working for almost a year. I was furloughed, and I should have utilized that time to like figure out stocks.
Yeah.
Just like Dave Portnoy did. He was like, you know what? I'm going to become a day trader. And he keeps talking about that like crazy. I should have done the same. I should have figured out stocks or something to like.
Well,
but,
and you mentioned the gambling aspect, and I compared this earlier. We were talking about it.
Yeah.
And it is, I like gambling. It's fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love the roller coaster ride. And like for me, this has been so much fun because if you bet on a sporting event, say a football game, you know that best case scenario, you're going to ride a roller coaster and you might win, and you got 3 hours to enjoy the ride.
Right.
Some instances, you realize 10 minutes in, the roller coaster has stopped and the ride is over. You're done.
Sports, because there's a time limit. You know what's about to happen. You know when it's going to end.
Like,
thing.
I mean, you're 10 minutes in, all of a sudden your team that you bet on is down 24-0.
Yeah.
You're done.
Right.
And the rest of the game, you're just sitting there waiting for defeat.
Yeah.
This is fun because we're going on the second week of complete insanity. And if you got some skin in the game, you're getting like, I just want
It's a wild ride. It's a wild ride.
Last week was GameStop. This week they're saying it's AMC. I'm like all in on AMC.
Yeah.
And the ride is fun.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying it.
Do you think
it's like gambling?
Yeah.
But instead of 3 hours, I'm getting like 3 weeks worth right now. It's crazy.
Of a single like up down, just like emotional ride.
Like
right?
all in one day, like
in
yesterday.
And I'm talking like one single like stock. It's one stock, one game, quote unquote. But it goes on for weeks.
Well,
or
like,
could
like
go on
AMC,
for weeks.
When GameStop all that, I was looking, okay, I missed GameStop. What's the next one? Is it Nokia? Is it AMC?
Right.
Finally said, I was in a mix of all of them. Finally, hey, everyone's saying AMC. That's what I'm going with. Pulled everything, dumped it into AMC. Monday morning, it peaked, and I was like, yes, this is awesome. Not like extreme, but
but making money.
This is happening.
Yeah.
Then upward. It crashed. You're like, oh no.
Yeah.
Then it came up a little bit. You're like, ooh, ooh, ooh. Then it crashed, and you're like, ah. And now they're saying, don't freak. Wait till the end of the week. So now I'm just sitting like, oh, I was a dead man the last 2 days, but now I'm getting told, wait, it's coming back. So like it's fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't risk, just like betting and gambling.
Yeah.
Don't risk more than you're willing to lose. Every time I gamble, bet, whatever, I try to make the most intelligent play. Yeah. But I'm also, if I lose, I'm planning on losing. I want to win. Yeah. I do everything I can to win.
Don't be a crazy person.
But I plan on losing.
Don't be a crazy person with
if
your money.
If I take $500 to the casino, in my head, before I even step in the door, best case scenario is I come out with $0.
Yeah. Like you assume you're going
to lose everything.
You're walking in with $500 because you assume you're going to lose every bit of it. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also,
you have to walk in there like that.
Even in gambling, I would think it makes sense with the stock too, especially at the minor level we're doing it at.
Yeah.
That mentality of I'm okay to lose everything allows you more freedom and more wiggle room to do stuff you wouldn't.
Yeah.
Like if you brought in $500 to spend, but you're like, hey, I have to make 200 or I can't lose more than 200.
Right.
you're going to be like really watching what you do and not going to take as many risks.
Might consume your life as well.
If
because
you
that's
walk
all
in
you're doing
with
is
500
watching.
and you're like, I'm going to lose it all.
Yeah.
It's like you can do wild stuff. You can risk. I mean, you can.
Yeah.
You can if I know, hey, I got $500 to burn.
Yeah.
I'm willing to burn it, but there's a possibility I could turn it into a profit.
Yep.
Full go. Let's find out.
Right.
And that's where I'm at on it. Is I'm in. I can lose it.
Yeah.
And be fine, but if it's
play money. Yeah.
If it pops, it's gonna be crazy.
Yeah.
Not super crazy, but I mean, I'm gonna be real happy if.
And that's where the adrenaline rush comes from. Is like the possibility of like coming on the upside of and making money on top of what you put in versus losing it, right?
Yeah.
So, which is like
gambling,
that's how, casino.
Like the day traders, I saw like the number most common number is they're trying to make $1,000 for the day.
Okay.
Once they hit $1,000 profit for the day, they bounce. They're like they'll go off and do whatever they want to do.
Yeah.
So like if you invest $10,000 in a stock,
the
price goes up enough, goes up 10%.
Right.
Now your equity in it is $11,000. Oh, there's your $1,000 right there.
Right.
Boom, bounce. You made $1,000 for.
Yeah.
Sell it.
Yeah.
Put it back in the thing. You made your $1,000 for the day. Come back tomorrow.
Yeah.
And that's what they do. They try to hit a certain number. Once they get there, they're done for the day.
Yeah.
And before we wrap it up,
crazy.
Another little wrinkle to the Robinhood. What they're also saying might have played a part, and why they were getting those phone calls is that there's rumors that Robinhood wanted to go public.
Yes.
And be a stock option.
They're supposed to go public. They were slated to go public soon.
And there's like been whispers of someone might have called them and said,
that's at risk.
If you help us, we will help you when you go public. If you don't, which would be
an investment, yeah.
But on the flip side is they just nuked their company in one afternoon.
Absolutely. I don't know though, dude.
But like I didn't.
Do you think I keep hearing Robinhood's dead, but do you really think Robinhood's dead?
No,
I don't either.
Because
everybody is
the app is so good.
Still going back to the app.
The app is so good.
It's so good,
and it's so easy to use, easy to understand. Like I was like, oh man, this is crazy. I never once thought about pulling my stuff from Robinhood.
Yeah.
Not once.
Not once.
In fact, when they do go public, I'm very well am going to invest in it.
Imagine being a user that's been on Robinhood for the past year and is invested in Robinhood, and you use that daily. It's like your Facebook, your Instagram. Yep. It's another app that you're just like heavily involved in. You're not just giving that up.
Well, and just to kind of segue out of it, and another interesting thing that I can't remember the guy's name. The Wolf of Wall Street, the movie.
Yes.
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yes.
The guy he played.
Did you see that video?
Which one? Oh yeah.
Of the actual. I have the tweet.
Well,
keep
that
talking.
guy.
Yeah.
That guy was on one of the money shows or whatever, the real one.
Yes.
And he said, "Yeah, this is awesome. Stick it to him, but why aren't they using this mentality for actual stocks that are worth something like Apple?"
Yes.
And that's probably going to be like the next thing is now like do this, but do it to drive up the price on successful stocks that are going to that aren't eventually GameStop's going to crash back to where it was or go bankrupt. That's going to happen.
Yeah.
But he's saying, why not use that strategy towards stocks that are actually worth something and going to improve anyway? Just make it improve faster and higher percentages.
Yeah.
Which makes sense.
Dude.
So
I'm trying to find what is his name?
Belfort?
Oh, yeah, Jared?
I don't know.
I think you're right. It's Belfort, I think. Yeah, Jordan. I'm sorry, Jared. Jordan Belfort. Anyways, there was a video out there that went viral. He's basically he recreated the scene where Leonardo DiCaprio is playing Jordan Belfort in that scene where he's on the
Oh,
microphone
I haven't seen that. Yeah.
and talking, but it's actually Jordan Belfort talking about Robinhood and what's going on like current day, but it still shows the other side in the movie scene. So it's like he's playing like he's playing Leonardo DiCaprio, which is himself, but he's in the movie type thing. Anyways, it went viral. It was pretty good.
So, needless to say, I got on Robinhood a few weeks ago before this started.
Yeah.
Now I'm hooked into it, and by the time this releases, I may be real happy.
Well, what's funny is I told you tonight, a friend of mine a year ago that I worked with started talking about Robinhood. I was like, dude, you should get on Robinhood. Super easy. I created an account, downloaded the app at one point, and never pursued it after that.
Never funded it.
Never did anything. And I got on yesterday, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna dive in. Should have done this over the entire year, but I didn't. But dove in, but there was a 5-day waiting period in order for your application to be approved. And I thought that was a little sketch too.
When I signed up 3 weeks
because initially
ago, it was instant.
Well, of course.
When I signed up 3 weeks ago, before all this happened,
I knew it was. And when I got that message today of say, hey, we have a waiting period. It's probably going to take up to 5 days to review your application, and that's probably because their app is getting flooded with new users.
And that's what they're saying when these limits, these waiting periods expire. All these people that are itching to get in on this, they're finally going to get released, like you now.
Like tomorrow. I got approved
tomorrow morning.
And by the way, it said 5 days. I got approved within a day.
Yeah.
So it didn't take 5 days.
But it's going to take you until tomorrow morning, so essentially 2 days to where you can trade. So people like you who are just now, they're hearing all this news about Robinhood and these stocks.
Let's
they're
check it out.
They're trying to get in.
Yeah.
They're having to wait.
Yeah.
Once they get in, it's going to cause more mayhem.
Yeah. You're right.
It's
not over. It's definitely not over.
And I'll be watching AMC just because I'm in it, and they're saying that's the next one. It's going to be crazy.
In closing, do you see regulations coming into play and what stops the bleed, so to speak? Is that the only thing that's going to stop this?
I would think so, but I'm not sure. But I can tell you, I am very much looking forward to and hoping they get raked against the Colts.
The Colts, yeah.
On this, I can't wait for the government hearings and the inquiries and
not to mention all the lawsuits that are flying around against Robinhood now.
It's just getting started, and I can't wait for the legal part of it when they start having to answer questions.
Yeah.
It's going to be so good.
It's revolutionary.
It's going to be so entertaining.
Crazy.
It's entertaining now because of the money gambling aspect. It's going to be entertaining later because of the legal aspect.
Oh, yeah.
So this is, and the amount of celebrities like Portnoy, like Cuban, that invested in these companies.
Yeah.
And then they froze them and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's going to get wild.
There's clear criminal stuff going on.
I can't wait.
But yeah, I just what I see happening is regulations stopping the bleed at some point. People aren't gonna nobody likes regulations. So
come Thursday or Friday, I may be texting you or calling you and telling you to kiss my ass. I'm out of here.
You might be, yeah.
So,
or I had to sell my house. I don't know.
There you go. Or I have to sell my house. Yeah.
Don't do that. Good gosh.
Again,
people putting their houses up on this shit. Don't freaking do that.
Don't listen to us on anything to do with the stocks. Just don't do it.
Yeah, just forget.
Not advice. Please don't.
Forget what you just heard.
But listen to this.
All right. Go ahead.
I think you got a question.
Was that a segue?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, listen to this. I have a serious question.
I figured you did.
Chuck, we're going to end this out.
Let's do it.
I got a fun one this week. And it's really easy. Do you single knot or double knot tie your shoe? Real easy question.
Single knot.
What?
Are you a double knot?
Well, now I got to ask you why and explain yourself. Yeah, I'm a double knot guy. I don't know why, but I'm a double knot.
Did you have lace issues as a child? Like,
Maybe. I don't know.
so
Do you wear? Okay, how often do you wear shoes with laces? Every day.
every day,
Okay.
all the time. I'm a shoes like, which is funny because I have slip-ons right now.
Yeah, I was about to say, do you have some slip-ons?
But yeah,
You're a single knot guy.
I used to be like a big like shoe, not like a big sneakerhead, but like I always had a nice array of shoes. I
Yeah.
still try to have not as much, but no. See, here my move is I always like to be like slick and look fresh.
Yeah.
I would go
Same.
I would go. Yeah, but you double knot and let the loops hang, right?
Yeah, totally. Well,
Yeah.
on my Converse, the shoestrings are so freaking long. That's why I double knot.
Yeah.
I double knot to shorten the lanky hang.
So here's what I do. That drives me crazy,
Yeah.
especially when I'm like looking. I'm like, all right, it'd be
Yeah.
head to toe. Looking
I'm not gonna lie.
good.
I'm not gonna lie. This drives me freaking nuts.
Okay, so what I do, and this is how I still do, especially so. There's a difference to me in like shoes and like sneakers, like
Yeah.
regular running shoes, tennis shoes.
Yeah.
That's one thing, but like your Adidas, like your
Yes.
skating shoes, almost like.
Yeah.
What I'll do with those is I'm trying to look fresh.
Yeah.
I'm going out and getting done up. Single knot, tuck the laces in the shoe.
Boom.
Sleek. There's no dangling loose
That's-
laces.
That's what I used to
I'm
do.
a single knot, tuck the
Tuck 'em in.
laces.
I used to tuck my laces in too.
I do it all the time.
And I don't do it anymore. I don't know why. I think I got lazy. I'm
Like
just
even though these are slip on with the
Yeah.
the elastic things on them,
Yeah.
the laces.
Yeah.
My tennis shoes will look like this.
Now, do you do? Okay, this is so funny how this develops. The serious question: do you tuck your shoelaces if you're wearing pants, or is that a primary thing you do when you wear shorts? Because it looks cleaner when you wear
I
shorts.
do it every time.
Every time?
Yeah.
I think I stopped doing it because I was wearing pants more than shorts.
You very rarely ever wear shorts.
That's why. I used to wear whenever I wear shorts, I would tuck my laces in because it looks cleaner.
See, I do it every
I
time.
think because my pants cover up my laces a little bit, I don't care anymore.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Holy shit.
See, I do it
Figure
all the
something
time.
out.
Just because, not that I'm like super conscious, but I mean,
Yeah.
I do like when I decide, hey, I want to look decent, like
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, yeah.
Even when I'm sitting down and your pants rise up a little bit,
Yeah.
I want my shoes because if nothing else, I
That's so
try to
funny.
make sure my shoes look good.
Yeah.
And part of that is how they look when they're on their feet, and it drives me crazy seeing laces flopping around. So I tuck laces.
I love it.
Single
Knot tucked.
single and tuck.
Single knot tucked. We need to make a shirt. Let's make a shirt. Single knot tucked. Double knotted, loosely hanging.
Double knot, let it hang.
Oh, we're coming up with some NDC shirts.
There we
I
go.
love
That's gonna do it for this episode. It was a good one. I had fun. It was great. If
stuff.
you want to holler at us, continue the conversation, find us across the board at Modern Dude Chap. Check out YouTube. We got video figured out. All the episodes, video editions will be on YouTube now. And if you want to holler at us individually, I am at Modern Chuck.
Cody Murph, CODYMURF.
We will catch you on next time.
Peace.